our business is changing faster and faster, and we can't see everything that's ahead of us. So we did this really to get ahead. What we had supported our business just fine. What we're doing is we're in this for the long haul, and we want to make sure we're best prepared as our business continues to change.
I'm Chris Crawford, part of the Accenture internal IT organization, and I'm glad to be here today with Dan Kerner, who's also part of the internal IT organization, and Fred Honzinski, who is part of Accenture's internal finance organization, where he is the Director of Strategic Initiatives. We're discussing Accenture's journey to intelligent finance with SAP S4HANA. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Hey, great to be here, Chris. How you doing?
Fantastic. So let's get into it. Accenture, I know we've historically run the core financial processing on a single global instance of SAP. I remember when that went in, and we usually run that on Microsoft SQL Server in an on-prem data center. But we recently moved to S4HANA. Fred, I can understand some of the technical implications of that, but Fred, what are some of the reasons that finance wanted to move to the new platform?
Well, Accenture's changed a lot over the years, and we've become a much more diverse business. And because of that, we needed to operate with more insight, agility, and efficiency across our multiple businesses and our multiple business processes. Both business and IT capabilities now must contend with a faster pace of change and growth, and that drove our need to transform Accenture's technical architecture supporting finance, HR, and analytics capabilities. Because of this, we undertook a multi-phase program to implement SAP S4HANA version 16.10, and we did that conversion on a brownfield basis.
So brownfield, you mean like we just upgraded our existing stuff, or what's that mean?
Yeah, brownfield meaning that we took all of our data and we did a data conversion. So everything that we had in our old system, we took it, data converted it, and we have it all there now, and we can run our historical comparables all in the same place.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, versus a greenfield, I guess.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
For sure. All right. Well, I'm sure that this was, key in this journey to intelligent finance, which maybe I'll ask you to explain what exactly you guys mean by intelligent finance, and maybe you can hit some of the key steps along the way too. But what is intelligent finance for you?
Well, intelligent finance is really operating more with the business, so doing more automation, analyses, and advising. So taking advantage of technology to get analytics, automation, and things like that, and becoming more of an advisor versus, freeing up time from the more repetitive things to spend more time on advisory.
Not just closing the books and making sure 2 + 2 = 4, but
exactly, being more value added.
Got it. So how did we get there? What roles does SAP play here?
Well, we've started off by doing this. We're doing this through phases. So our first phase was laying the technical foundation when we migrated first to Business Suite on HANA, and that took about 6 months, and that laid the foundation for our S4 HANA upgrade to enable transformation. Our next phase, we started the transformational technology foundation with the implementation of S4 version 16.10. We talked a little bit about the brownfield already, but we greatly value having all comparative historical data in SAP. So this was a route we wanted to take. And also, we have been very good over the years, starting when we implemented SAP over 15 years ago now, with making sure that we had global finance processes, and everything was optimized, as well as our technical architecture. And because of this, and due to our great need for comparative historical data, we decided to go with the brownfield conversion.
Okay. Dan, I know that the technology plays a key role here, and it gets a lot of the press. I'm glad to see that this is intelligent finance and not just the rote stuff. Where were the tough parts in the technology that came in here?
Yeah, this is a new platform, right? When we talked about we migrated to it, it's not just a migration of data. It's a completely new data structure that we're going after that we had to bring everything into. And then, like many companies that have SAP, it's the core of their systems that run their business,
Sure.
At least the back office systems, I should say. So we had 300 integrating systems. We had 30 bolt-ons and things like that. So we had to make sure that was all connected together in terms of solution, and then also in terms of testing capability and performance, right?
I was just about to go there. The testing on this thing must have been incredible. I mean, how do you do something like this that is core to the entire organization without bringing every other effort in the shop to a complete halt?
Well, I think the first thing is, from a governance standpoint, we made sure that we didn't have two moving balls, or we tried to limit the number of moving balls that were going on. So that was clearly number one, and that was a governance thing that we started out with. And then, we used the Accenture methodology in more of an agile fashion, the new way we do it, to drive both performance and capability items from end to end. And we really had what we call a fail fast approach. So, convert the data over, full scale, end to end, break it, and then fix it quick. Know the risks immediately.
That's nice. Dan, I got to say that is the first time I've ever heard Agile and SAP in the same paragraph, let alone the same sentence.
You might be correct.
But that's fantastic. I mean, yeah, that ability to do that, to get that testing out of the way and to not impact everything else is incredible. Fred, some of the benefits, I'm sure, I know, and I've heard some of the story around the benefits here to hosting costs and whatnot, but what are some of the ones that you've seen? What's some of the benefits you've seen across the company?
Really, we're just really getting into our third phase with the benefits, and that's going to allow us to take this flexible platform and to better support our diverse businesses, and then get into more real-time reporting, and again, more about the analytics and robotics and automation and things like that, and also the ability to leverage future SAP capabilities. So we're really just starting to touch on the value portion after getting the technical architecture sorted out.
So there are some. So in addition to some costs, I mean, has the business shifted that much that we needed to move to this, or was it more of a cost play here?
No, it's really about our business changing. If you think about us, a lot of people thought of us 15 years ago as a system integrator, and we still do that, and it's important, and
Sure.
It's part of our DNA, and it's a great business. But we've gotten into more and more services, getting different types of revenue streams, doing different services. We're a big digital agency now. It's really about that. It's supporting our business as it evolves, and we've seen these changes. And we know some of the changes going forward. We don't know all the changes. All we know is that our business is changing faster and faster, and we can't see everything that's ahead of us. So we did this really to get ahead. What we had supported our business just fine. What we're doing is we're in this for the long haul, and we want to make sure we're best prepared as our business continues to change.
Fantastic. I guess last question, can you share any insights, or what else, somebody who's undergoing this transformation or considering it, any insights that you could share with us that might be helpful for somebody else in a similar or contemplating this sort of move?
And Dan talked a little bit about this, but we being the business or finance in this case, we were joined at the hip with CIO.
Great.
So going back 2.5 years when we first started doing this, we were looking for, what is the best thing to do for Accenture based on our business changing. And we brought senior leadership into place from both finance and CIO and planned this and decided, that S4 was the right thing for us and that a phased approach was appropriate. And we've had everybody lockstep since we started this, including finance leadership, so that everybody knew what to expect and, no surprises. And it really, one of the big things here is it can't be CIO driven. It's got to be, the business that wants to do this as well. And that's the way to make it work.
Dan, you comfortable not being in the driver's seat, not being project driven by CIO?
I'm very comfortable. I mean, we partner on all our stuff to go through it to make sure that we meet the needs, and I think that's been the key to our success. I would say, in addition to what Fred said, about the partnership, and he talked about this a little bit before, looking to phase stuff through based on your business needs. Every company's different as you go through it. And you got to have checkpoints to mitigate the risk and to make sure you achieve the outcome. I think on the technical level, what we experienced is that, this is a new platform, right? And many companies including us, have long histories on this platform. But you need to take that stuff that you've implemented and had perfected over the years. You need to optimize it on the new platform. whether that's core SAP related items or custom things that you've done. And I think, to add on to that, there's also third-party applications like a Vertex or a Blackline or the bolt-ons that we think about that we need to make sure that's optimized and those work fluently within the context of your business. And I mentioned this before, fail fast, right? In terms of getting things onto the system, running your end processes. In most cases, many companies have been on SAP. We were on SAP for 14 years. We highly leveraged our automated testing to really drive out the problems early so that we could design around them. And I would say, last but not least, Chris, really, you got to partner with SAP on this. It's a new piece of software. It's getting out there. SAP was very helpful in helping us resolve issues that we couldn't resolve ourselves.
Great points, Dan. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Dan. And thanks for the audience joining us today on our discussion of the internal SAP S/4HANA implementation at Accenture.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the Accenture CIO podcast series on iTunes for all episodes.